Okay, so we're going to talk about Theo's remote collar. So the first thing you want to do is turn on his collar. How you're going to do that is there is a little red magnet right here on the collar, and on the remote you have a matching red magnet right under the T button, the black T button, which stands for vibrate. So what you're going to do is take the two and you're going to touch them together. You'll see a green light flash on the collar itself, and that tells you that the collar is on and charged. What you're going to do is make sure that the charging port right here, this is where you will plug in the collar to charge it, make sure that is closed all the way. That's what keeps the collar itself waterproof. At the end of the day, when you take this off of Theo, you touch it together, turn it off. If you turn this on, leave it on all day, and then shut it off at night, it should last about 2 days on a charge. So this is turned on now, so we're gonna keep it on. It's gonna flash green to let us know that it's on and charged. If you start seeing orange, that means that the collar is close to dying, so you're gonna wanna put it on the charger, and red means that it's almost dead. So it's gonna flash green to let you know that it is on and charged. So we're gonna set this off to the side. Next, you're gonna turn on your remote. So back here, the big circle button that has an L on it, you push and hold that. So you're gonna push down and hold it, and it's gonna light up and it's gonna be turned on. So it should look like this. It should have 1D, M, and then the level 15. So Theo is on level 15 out of 100, so that's not crazy intense. Basically, I can feel it, and it makes my thumb twitch a little bit. You can kind of see it. My thumb's twitching whenever I push the button. So that is the similar feeling that Theo will feel on his neck. It is an electric muscle stimulator, so his neck may twitch a little bit, but it's not causing him pain. It's just a little bit of discomfort to let him know, hey, you didn't do that command correctly. Here's your correction. Do it right, and then you'll get a reward. So this is turned on. When you're working with Theo, you have him walking next to you on a loose leash. If he starts to sniff the ground or pull ahead of you or do anything other than walk politely next to you, you're gonna say no and push the black S button, just like that. And that's with any command. If he gets off a place or gets up from a downstay or doesn't come when you call, you're gonna say no and push the black S button. The button is set to momentary, which means that it's only going to stimulate for a momentary second, right? So stim, even if I hold my finger down all the way, it's only doing that little momentary stimulation. I have it set to that. I will show you here in a second how to change it to continuous, but you will not need to change it to continuous. You will only keep it on momentary. The next button we are going to go over is the red S button, which is the boost button. So that is actually going to increase the level double. I've said it's a double. I have not needed this for Theo. This is to use for emergencies only. Let's say you've worked with him for a few weeks and you wanted to try to have him off leash and he started to chase after something, you would say no and push the red button, which increases the level. What that does is if a dog is in an aroused state, their pain tolerance goes up. So we need to kind of combat that with a higher level other than 15, and that's just a quick way to increase it without having to unlock the dial and turn it up like this. Next, we're going to go ahead and go over the dial. So this increases and decreases the level, but right now I have it locked. How you unlock it is you push down and hold it. You'll see the 1D is now flashing and that I can increase and decrease the level. The reason I lock it is so you don't accidentally turn it up or down on Theo, so it stays consistent at level 15. So once I find the level that I want, I push down and hold it and it locks it back into place. So the next button on the other side is the vibrate button. I haven't used this with Theo, but you can use vibrate to kind of give him a little warning like, hey, don't do that. I wouldn't rely too much on vibrate. I would try and stick with stimulation. The point of the remote collar is for him to want to avoid the stimulation, and then you can eventually fade the remote collar out of training. However, that probably won't happen for a while since he's young and we have to build up, you know, reward history through training, and make sure that he listens to you throughout training. So just to give you an idea, it takes a dog 2 weeks to learn a behavior and 4 to 6 months for that behavior to become long-term memory. So that means that we have to really be consistent, especially for the next 2 weeks, because once you take him home, these next 2 weeks are really important that you work with him and show him, hey, we know the rules as well. So back to the buttons. This is the on-off button like we discussed earlier. However, it's also the flashlight. So if you just tap it, you activate the flashlight on his collar. Tap it again, it's a solid flashlight. Tap it one more time, shuts it off. So tap, tap, tap. This little button over here is the momentary/continuous button. If we push and hold it, we actually change the buttons from momentary to continuous. You do not have a need to do that, so you want to make sure that you push and hold it until you see just the M button, because that means that this is now the boost. 15, 30. Only for emergencies, for everyday correction use. On the back here again is the recharging port. Make sure this is shut. This is waterproof and I believe it floats. The charger is in the box. You can charge both at the same time, and the instructions, if you want the instructions, are in here as well, right here. And I encourage that you fill out this warranty or email them so that if anything were to break, they will replace it for you. I think it has a 2 or 3 year warranty. So now we're going to talk about how long he needs to wear this. So consistency is key. Dogs can wear the remote collar 10 to 12 hours a day. However, if he gets wet, like it's raining or he goes swimming, once he's done, this is waterproof. You can use it while he's in the water, that's fine. But once he's out of the water and done swimming, it does need to come off so that his skin can dry. The reason being is it fits really snug on him. It fits nice and high, really snug. And if we leave it on him for too long, the oil from his hair mixing with the water will create some sort of bacteria, which can lead to a skin infection or a hot spot. So after he's done swimming, put him in his crate or whatever, take this off, let him dry. Once he's fully dry, you can put it back on. So you want to put it on Theo with the light facing out. That way, if you turn the flashlight on, you can see it. So put it on just like this. If I'm Theo, like this, off to the side. Typically anywhere underneath or off to the side is fine on Theo. We have this quick snap. As Theo gets bigger, you will have to adjust the buckle and maybe loosen it up a little bit, but it does have this bungee, which gives it a lot of give, so it's not going to be too tight for him. And then we can shut it off at the end of the day. Make sure he wears it every day. The more consistent you are, the faster you're going to be able to fade away from having to rely on the collar. But consistency is everything. Even if you don't plan on having him off leash that day, which you shouldn't have him completely off leash. He did a 3-week on leash program with the remote collar, so he is on leash training, but with the remote collar you can creep into off leash, but you should always have a long line on him for safety. That's just to make sure, if for some reason he can power through the remote collar, you have a leash on him for safety. But consistency is key. You don't want him to become collar savvy, which means you don't have him wear it until he misbehaves and then you put it on him and stimulate him. He would wear this collar even when I wasn't working with him. Before our session, I would put it on him like 20 minutes beforehand so he would know to wear it, and then I wouldn't take it off him until the end of the day, so he didn't think, oh, this collar means training. No, this collar just means, hey, you get to go out. It doesn't mean that you only listen with this collar on. So every day, take it off at night. And now we're going to show you a little bit of his obedience. Good boy, Theo. Good boy. Good place. 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 Good boy. Good boy. Place. Good job. Place. Place. I know chairs are scary. Good boy. Good boy. Place. Free. Good boy, Theo. Good boy. Down. Good boy. Down. Good down. 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 Good down. Good down. Good down. Down. Good boy.